almost as if he saw something which frightened him. He was still rather pale when Feather lifted her eyes to him, but he had not talked to her for 15 minutes before he knew that there was no real reason why he should ever again lose his color at the sight of her. He had thought at first there was. This was the beginning of an acquaintance which gave rise to much argument over teacups regarding the degree of Coombe's interest in her. Remained, however, the fact that he managed to see a great deal of her. Feather was guilelessly doubtless concerning him. She was quite sure that he was in love with her, and very practically aware that the more men of the class of the head of the house of Coombe who came in and out of the slice of a house, the more likely the dwellers in it were to get good invitations and continued credit. The realization of these benefits was cut short. Robert, amazingly and unnaturally, failed her by dying. He was sent away in a hearse, and the tiny house ceased to represent hilarious little parties. Bills were piled high everywhere. The rent was long overdue and must be paid. She had no money to pay it, none to pay the servants' wages. "It's awful, it's awful, it's awful," broke out between her sobs. From her bedroom window, at evening, she watched cook, the smart footman, the nurse, the maids, climb into four-wheelers and be driven away. "They're gone, all of them," she gasped. "There's no one left in the house. It's empty." Then Feather was seized with a panic. She had something like hysterics, falling face downward upon the carpet, clutching her hair until it fell down. She was not a person to be judged. She was one of the unexplained incidents of existence. The night drew in more closely. A prolonged wailing shriek tore through the utter soundlessness of the house. It came from the night nursery. It was Robin who had wakened and was screaming. I won't," Feather protested with chattering teeth. "I won't." She had never done anything for the child since its birth. To reach her now, she would be obliged to go out into the dark, past Robert's bedroom, the room. I couldn't, even if I wanted to," she quaked. I daren't. I wouldn't do it for £1,000,000. The screams took on a more determined note. She flung herself on her bed, burrowing her head under the coverings and pillows she dragged over her ears to shut out the sounds. Feather herself had not known, nor in fact had any other human being known why Lord Coombe drifted into seeming rather to follow her about. But there existed a reason, and this it was, and this alone, which caused him to appear, the apotheosis of exquisite fitness and form, at her door. He listened while she poured it all forth, sobbing. Her pretty hair loosened itself and fell about her in a wild but enchanting disorder. "I would do anything, anyone asked me, if they would take care of me." A shuddering knowledge that it was quite true that she would do anything for any man who would take care of her produced an effect on him nothing else would have produced. "Do I understand," he said, "that you are willing that I should arrange this for you?" "Do you mean really?" she faltered. "Will you? Will you?" Her uplifted eyes were like a young angel's, brimming with crystal drops which slipped, as a child's tears slip, down her cheeks. The florist came and refilled the window boxes of the slice of a house with an admirable arrangement of fresh flowers. It became an established fact that the household had not fallen to pieces, and its frequenters gradually returned to it, wearing indeed the air of people who had never really remained away from it. As a bird in captivity lives in its cage and perhaps believes it to be the world, Robin lived in her nursery. She was put to bed and taken up. She was fed and dressed in it, and once a day she was taken out of it downstairs and into the street. That was all. It is a somewhat portentous thing to realize that a newborn human creature can only know what it is taught. To Robin, the lady downstairs was merely a radiant and beautiful being of whom one might catch a glimpse through a door, or if one pressed one's face against the window pane at the right moment. On the very rare occasions when the lady appeared on the threshold of the day nursery, Robin stood and stared with immense, startled eyes, and answered in a whisper the banal little questions put to her. So she remained unaware of mothers, and unaware of affection. She never played with other children. Andrews, her nurse, as behooved one employed in a house about which there was talk, bore herself with a lofty and exclusive air.